All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So very big day today, to say the least. All right, TLRY dropping 40% and getting over every single moving average. All right, CGC not only gets back above but breaks this 4-3 candle. That's going to be a real important theme, and you'll see that ACB actually does it as well. Okay, another big day right here. Look, high tide, lovely candle, still below 4-3. What's another one? SNDL, lovely candle, still just below that 4-3, right? So I think that's a big difference. MSOS actually over 4-3, and really this one never had a 4-3 candle, so that's like a little bit of an interesting wrinkle there, right? But why did everything pop? I mean, I'm sure you know it, this is probably not new news, but there is a lot more going on the reschedulization rumor. And I'm still using the word rumor because, again, this is actually where I ended it if you're on the Discord, right? I wasn't sure if this is still a rumor, if Biden has actually signed something. It sounds like nothing has been signed yet, but again, it seems like things are getting a little realer, and you know, I love me some rumors, right? Buy the rumor, buy the rumor, buy the rumor. That's why people say that sell the news is going to be something I'm going to discuss when we do the front half of the fundamentals, right? But I want to talk a little bit about the S&P 500. I want to talk a little bit about the federal meeting that is tomorrow, and then obviously we will spend some good time on the reschedulization rumors, the impacts if things get reschedulized, and really I'll give you a couple political opinions. And look, I always say it, I don't want these to go down a rabbit hole of politics, because that's not what this is about, right? You know, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, neither, this or that, right? Like, we are here to make money regardless how it happens, right? And oh my goodness, it feels good right now, right? So before we go any further though, and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad if you disagree with anything. Look, anything you do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, just being here and giving me your time, I am so appreciative and I'm so grateful for it. All right, so before we get into the technicals, oh man, I guess even before we go to the fireplace, look, a couple things I want to call out. All right, number one, we were on top of it on the Discord. All right, I rarely get to say this, but where was it today? I thought I called it before. Again, who cares? But there was some interesting movements that we actually saw almost right away. Like you can see, we first start talking about CGC only at 12%. ACB was only at 7%. You know what I mean? It started really picking it up. All of a sudden, I started seeing a couple of the DEA headlines. All of a sudden, we started seeing it in a couple places. My favorite part was that CNN dropped the headline an hour after we were already in and crushing it, you know? So, hey, if you're not in the Discord, I don't push it a lot, but yeah, the Chart Readers one, it's free. It's a beautiful place, all right? So let's come into the fireplace really quickly, all right? So this is where I like to give a couple more opinion-based opinions. Opinion-based oh my goodness, can you tell I'm excited? Opinion-based comments. Listen, if you disagree with anything I'm saying here, don't hesitate, all right? Because like I said, I'm not really saying these with like facts or data behind it. It's just kind of my observations, all right? We have been talking about this reschedulization for a bit, okay? The rumor, and again, I think it is still a rumor. I do believe, I haven't seen anything that says Biden actually has signed it, right? But reschedulization really does impact financials, all right? When you move something from this, you literally can't touch it because you're touching one of the most illicit substances in the nation, to, you know what, we're going to lower it down. And it's not good, but it's not bad. Like that significant difference is monumental. All right. And I'm going to go back to the Discord because someone found a really good article. Give me a sec. Sorry to scroll. This was the article, and then I actually had a follow-up question because I couldn't understand it, all right? But if, and I'm still using the word if, because again, this is just a rumor, right? But if reschedulization happens, there are sections in the IRS code that will no longer apply to this business. All right. And again, I didn't understand what it meant. It got explained to me below, but essentially all of a sudden research and medical use can actually expand. All of a sudden there's actually lighter criminal penalties. There's actually, impacts for investors, for researchers, for entrepreneurs. All of a sudden the rules that have been hindering this sector are starting to go away. I've used this analogy so many times, but can you imagine if other sectors had the same rules as weed? Can you imagine if Apple wanted to start selling in a brand new state? They needed to make a brand new headquarters and they can't ship anything from California to that other state. Like, get out of here. Like, we are living in a free market, but this sector isn't. And again, I'm not here blaming things. I'm obviously frustrated by it. You can hear the tone, but I trade what's in front of me. And this belief that what's in front of me might start to actually significantly change. Oh my goodness, right? Like, I don't know if I can monetize that potential value. Now listen, if you've watched my videos before, I'm a short-term trader. All right. I live and die by the lines, and even as I'm saying these like potential reasons to become a long-term investor, believe me, I still see myself flipping these, right? Like, there's going to be a point where we're going to lose the moving averages that I'm talking about and this and that, right? But man, if you're long and strong, this is one of those moments that you've probably been waiting for since maybe 2014, for all I know. You know what I mean? So this is the reschedulization on top of the German legalization. Oh man, that's monumental. You know what I mean? And look, I haven't talked about the German legalization in a while because, again, I said this back a couple days before it became legal. I actually care about 30 days after legalization, maybe even 60 or 90 days, right? Like, I want a full quarter of actual numbers. And we're getting close to that. I think we just finished the first month, right? I think this German legalization was only beginning of April, right? So maybe there's actually some numbers out there that say what they were expecting the tax revenue to be, the company to company revenue to be, this and that. And like, what are those actuals looking like, right? Like, I would be very curious about that. If anyone knows, please let me know, right? But oh man, there's a lot happening in this sector. I think this is the last thing I want to say. And look, this is very much just my opinion, all right? It feels like Biden doesn't have a strong hold on this election, all right? Believe me, I'm not here trying to talk about Trump. I'm not here trying to talk about Biden. You're never going to hear who I'm going to vote for. Man, I might be too lazy and not vote. I'll be real honest with you all here, all right? I don't like saying that because, hey, it's a privilege to vote, believe me, right? But I really do. I think we're getting so close to November that Biden's going to start trying to hit some home runs. And can you imagine what it would look like and the voters he might get if he does some very, very loud pro-weed things? And then on top of that, can you imagine what Trump's reaction is? Because let's say Biden does something good. I can imagine Trump saying, hey, well, if I was president, I would do this, which is actually better. And that causes its own little rumor, right? So I really think as we get closer and closer to November and we start to see these like who's leading polls and this and that, oh man, we actually might get some very interesting, oh man. All right, so I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about in the fireplace. Very quickly, I'm gonna come to the S&P 500. All right, listen, SPY is what I'm gonna show. I have been talking about this happening for a bit, and I keep showing this little chart, okay? I assumed it was going to be a single peak up, not get over the lines and come down. It did a little bit better. It did a single peak, a good recovery, but it kind of seems like we're not getting over that 50 MA, all right? Tomorrow is the federal chair's meeting, okay? I don't really know what they're going to say. I don't really follow enough. Maybe if good things are said, that'll get this over the 50 moving average. I will be honest, and I said this in the chart readers Discord. I'm not going to try to go search and find it because I really don't know where it is, but I legit believe the news might supersede what happens on the indices. And you rarely will hear me say that because I to my core believe the indices matter more than any single ticker. This is bad. Like the S&P 500, this does not look good, right? SPX matches SPY, right? Like it seems like we might fall below 5,000 on the S&P 500. That normally would scare me, but I really think these rumors of reschedulization and the sector specific impact far supersedes what's happening outside us. All right, so I think those were all my fundamental thoughts. Please let me know if you disagree with anything. Like I said, most of these were just opinion based. 12 minutes is where we will transition into the technicals. Hey, very quickly, please, if you can subscribe, please, if you can share this video, it does wonders with the algorithms. All right, so oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start right here, okay? I think there are two really big things I want to say, and I did just put the two fingers up when I said two, and obviously none of you saw that, so silly me. But look, this stock, TLRY, I have been saying there are better technical setups outside of this, all right? And I've been mentioning CGC and I've been mentioning ACB, okay? Both did have bigger days because really both started at higher moving averages. Both were just below the 8 and the 20, never really lost and confirmed, able to take off, right? Now look, TLRY, for real, this superseded what I expected. I am a little shocked to see it just destroy all 5 moving averages on this single move. But you know what? This echoes why I've always called TLRY the king of the sector, why I called it the queen of the sector for my ladies, right? TLRY was the #1 traded stock in the market today at 148 million shares on this single day. Huge. All right, look, I see this dropping a little bit after hours. I do. Number one, I don't care that much about after hours. I really don't. All right. Number two, that's a pretty insignificant, excuse me. That's a meaningless drop for me. If you're going 40% on regular hours, if you're going to drop, you're probably going to drop like 15% plus. Like this is holding, and more importantly, it's actually even holding this 231 line, let alone the 200 moving average, right? So look, I need this to confirm, and for real, this needs to come to 270 tomorrow. If this comes to 270 tomorrow, I will believe we have destroyed and we have broken and we are above all of the moving averages again, all right? I'm a bit disappointed we closed under the earnings day, okay? This was the gap down. Obviously, I'm glad we destroyed the gap down number, right? I kind of wish we got back to this. And in some ways, this would have been my normal confirmation, but we broke 5 of them. We literally only cover 5 and we broke all 5 of them, right? So gotta set the criteria a little bit louder. I'm expecting 270, okay? Aside from the moving averages, like I briefly mentioned this on the opening, okay? I wish we closed over this 4-3 candle. All right, 4-3 is the biggest candle to the left, and you're going to hear me say that often. I want to get over the biggest candle to the left. You know what I mean? So unfortunately couldn't do that here. Again, you see that happen. 4-3 candle here, boom, almost an extra double the jump from there, right? From here we got extra more, right? ACB, actually same story. Once we broke that 4-3, I actually even have it lined on there, we got more than we got before that, right? So I wish Tilray got over this. Listen, if we confirm 270 tomorrow, I'm actually gonna start thinking, oof, I don't know if I want to say 320 or if I want to say 307. I'm going to hold this number. I'm going to say keep 307 in your back pocket. But again, if we hit 270 tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we just actually continue up and go to that 37. Like, that's a good RSI. That's a very healthy 66 that has a long way to go up. And this thing was already at 82 not that long ago. So take me from 60 to 80. And yeah, we'll probably kiss that $3 number I just mentioned, right? MACD, same divergence. Again, divergence, just fancy word for two lines going away from each other, right? I like when MACD and RSI have the same divergence. I love that the MACD is closing in on that 0, and obviously that's some volume. I'm actually looking at it like this as well. There is a decent slope right there. Like, it's not like I'm doing some like crazy like this, you know what I mean? So clearly a lot of bad happened. Can you imagine what this stock would have looked like if we had good Tilray earnings? That's this down the rabbit hole that like we actually shouldn't even think about. But oh my goodness, if this, like, oh my goodness, right? But that's not a game we want to play. That's actually what getting your hand stuck in the cookie jar looks like. I almost apologize for even asking that. All right. Let me know your thoughts. Oh, I'll end it with this. Look, I really want to hold 231. Again, I see us coming down to it after hours. Legit, I don't think I care that much. I don't, right? Like, I think if after hours, and let me just finish the comment. I think on the low end, I can see this coming down to this 220 number. All right, I could. I really don't want regular hours to go below 320. I'm actually legit expecting 270 to close tomorrow and confirm, all right? But yeah, 220, I think, to 270, I think that's my high-low targets for tomorrow. This was Tilray. I want to cover CGC and ACB. I'll make a video for the next ones, for the rest of them after this. But please let me know if you agree. Please let me know if you disagree. Let's do CGC. Let's do ACB. I have pretty much the same thoughts on both. Oh my goodness, is easily the thought, right? But I'll give you a little more educated technicals besides just that. So really quickly, please, if you can share this video, please, if you can subscribe, it really does wonders with these algorithms, all right? So, oh my, I don't even know where to start right now, all right? Obviously, it's easy to look at an almost 80% day, but I actually don't even want to start up here, all right? Today's volume superseded the entire volume when we ran from 3 to 10. I never mentioned that on the Discord because legit I like noticed it as I was looking at, like, I don't know if I can even comp, like, we went from 3 to 10. We more than 3x'd, and we actually had more volume today than in any of that moment. That's a little hard to believe, actually, and that's a craziness all on its own, all right? When I look at ACB, I thought I saw that same thing. Oh, I almost. We actually did have a bigger day on the biggest part of the run as well on ACB, but I don't actually even know what to think about that, all right? But again, as it stands, even without that phenomenon, like, that's a ridiculous candle. It is a ridiculous candle destroy, just crushing the 50-day average. And like I said on Tilray, that's a healthy slope right there, right? When we look at ACB, that's a healthy slope right there, right? Like the volume increases aren't these like ridiculous slopes that you just think pump and dump, right? Like there is a seeming pattern to this, and I love it. All right. From there, I think the last thing I want to say is we never lost these three lines, which is huge, right? And you know, losing 8 in the 20 is not a beautiful thing, and I don't even, you can tell it's just it's difficult for me to. Okay, I have no lines up here, but there's a couple things we're going to talk about what my targets are for. Okay, this is the last thing I do want to talk about, just in case you fast forwarded. Look, one thing I say often is I want to break the biggest candle to the left, all right? I love that CGC was able to do it, right? We peak, we drop, we hit the peak and run, right? ACB. We peak, we don't drop as much, we break the peak, and then we run even more than just getting to the peak, right? So both of them were able to break that early April candle, that 4-3 candle, and I think that was a real big difference as opposed to High Tide, who's still below it, right? As opposed to SNDL, super close to it, but just under it, right? As opposed to Tilray, who's still under it, right? So loving that move right there a lot, okay? What am I expecting here? Look, it's hard to expect a lot less than basically this, right? So I'm gonna draw this line first, right there. It's the bottom of that guy, okay? Right now, all I'm seeing is, and let me just zoom out, right? All I'm seeing is a whole mess of nothing. Red, green, red, green, whole mess of nothing. This could be a crazy fast run, okay? When I look at the weekly tells me, hey, draw an extra line right here, okay? It looks like it's a couple cents higher. I'll just kind of conform it to there. Let's put it right there. I think it's still okay. This 100 moving average on the weekly is going to be a resistance. This 100 moving average on the weekly, the last time we had a green candle over that was back in June of 2021. We're in 2024, right? So that's not going to be an easy line, but it smells like we're coming to 16. I've been saying 1625 on the Discord. 1650 is this line I'm essentially drawing, right? But yeah, it seems like we're going there. I think if this thing was going to come down, I would probably use that line right there. I can see this coming down to that. First, I can see it coming down to 1311. All right, I can really see this 1311 holding actually. Maybe if that's lost, we'll come down to this like 11 roughly, but I actually think I'd put some decent support on that 1311. And what am I expecting next? I really think I am expecting this 16, right? Because again, even in this little channel, red, green, green, red, green, green, right? It seems it. Again, MACD is positive, RSI is a very healthy 72. Even if we just peak at 80, we still got more. And hey, lo and behold, we actually had an RSI of 90 less than a month ago, a little more than a month ago, right? So I'm loving it. We're over all the moving averages on the daily. We're coming up to that 100. It's been 3 years since we've been there, right? So ACB, again, pretty much the same thoughts, right? MACD, RSI, 67, positive MACD, great volume, taking a step back. It really seems like we're coming to 10-3 tomorrow, all right? Maybe I'm actually going to take it to here. You want to know the truth? I think this is going to be my line. This was a bit, and maybe I'm setting too high a criteria. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because with Tilray we broke more. This one I guess we only broke 2, but that's a big can. I'm gonna raise it to 1071. I don't think I'm gonna regret that. Again, if this was gonna come down, I would use 845, maybe 818, as my come down, but yeah, hopefully we're coming into the healthy tens tomorrow. So hey, let me know your thoughts, let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. I'll cover more in a second. Thank you.